What's going on? It's DJ Fingers Flores, Big Boss Music Productions, Fresno, California, here with a little tip. This is a tip for the mobile DJ, the guy that does weddings and company parties and, quinceañeras, stuff like that. Tip is take control of your goddamn events. Take control of your events. I'm tired of going to an event as a guest and seeing DJs with their pretty sound systems and their beautiful QSC speakers and their facades and uplights and everything, and they don't do nothing. They never leave their little DJ area. They're not establishing themselves as an authority figure. Out the gate, when the party starts, when people are there, you gotta establish yourself as the ringleader, as the master of ceremonies. You gotta let everybody know that you're calling the shots, that you're running the show. If you don't, they're gonna walk all over you. You gotta establish yourself as a pro. And what does that mean? That means that you gotta make sure shit gets done. You gotta MC it. You gotta MC the event. You gotta host the event. You gotta let people know what's going on right out the gate. You got to check in with this person and that person when things need to get done. Like at a wedding or a quinceañera, there's a lot of formalities, special songs, special dances, special announcements. You got to be checking in with the person who's going to say something, or a toast, or someone who blesses the food, or the grand march, or whatever. People can see that. And when the audience sees you running around, taking care of stuff, it makes you look like a pro. That's what's called being on your P's and Q's. When you're just off in the corner, not doing anything, not coming out, not venturing out, not doing anything, you just look like some guy that's making noise in the corner. They don't respect you. So you have to take control of your events. I'm going to tell you what happened to me about 20 years ago, maybe 21, 22 years ago. This was in the late 90s. At that time, I probably had been doing weddings for about 3 years now. Like in 98 or whatever, 98, 99, 3 or 4 years. I've been doing weddings. And I did this wedding where the couple was very laid back. They were a real go with the flow kind of a couple. And I thought, all right, great, it's going to be easy. But as you know, that can backfire. That can work against you, because they can get caught up in other things and walking around and taking pictures and talking to their guests, and things just kind of get pushed back. And the kind of DJ I was back then, I was kind of the same way. I was real just laid back, go with the flow, and things were getting pushed back. Things on the timeline weren't getting done. They were getting pushed back 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Before you know it, we hadn't even done the cake cut or the first dance or anything, and everything's like an hour behind. And I remember the father of the bride came up to me and said, "You gotta take control." He was mad. He was like, "Everybody's leaving. You're not taking control. Look at, we're an hour behind schedule. You're not saying anything. You're not telling us anything. You're not giving us any direction." And he was 100% right. I wasn't in control. I was just going with the flow. And at the end of the night, I got him when it was open dance floor. Everybody that stayed there had a good time. But I'll never forget that night. I wasn't in control. I just started the music when I got there. I made my little announcements when someone told me to make them, or when I felt like it. I didn't want to intrude on the bride and groom as they were, going from table to table, welcoming guests and talking to guests and stuff like that. I thought that was intruding. But it's not. There's a way to approach them and let them know, hey, we're running a little behind schedule. It's time to do the first dance or whatever. Don't be rude about it. Don't be pushy, but let them know what's going on. They'll respect you for that, man. They really will. So this tip is get in control of your events. You gotta get in control of it, and things will work out a lot better. This is DJ Fingers Flores. I'm out. Peace.
Give me one of them funky ass beats. keep it moving.
People everywhere.